I can't believe I'm really doing this, I muttered to myself, staring out the plane window as Seoul appeared beneath the clouds. You'll be fine, the stranger beside me chuckled. Everyone goes to Korea to teach English these days. I smiled weakly, but inside, I wasn't so sure. The first weeks were chaos, new job, new culture, new language. I spent evenings fumbling through Korean convenience stores, holding out coins and hoping the cashier wouldn't yell at me. But I was determined to make it work. One night, a coworker dragged me to a small gathering. "Come on, don't be boring," he said. "Meet people. That's how you survive here." I gave in. That's when I saw her. She laughed at something across the room, head tilted back, eyes alive. My chest tightened. I nudged my coworker. "Who's that?" He grinned. "That's Hannah. She's a nurse. Careful though, she's way out of your league." "Maybe," I said, "but I want to try." We met near the snack table. "Hi," I said awkwardly. "I'm new here. I teach English." She smiled politely. "I know. I saw you staring." Heat rushed to my face. "Was it that obvious?" "Very obvious," she teased. "But at least you're honest." That was the beginning. Our early conversations were clumsy but warm. I'd say, "Your English is really good," and she'd roll her eyes. "No, it's terrible. I only know medical words. If you are bleeding, I can help. But small talk? No." I laughed every time. "Well, I'm always bleeding from somewhere. You'll save me." She'd push my shoulder lightly. Idiot. Weeks became months. We walked through neon-lit streets, ate steaming bowls of ramen at midnight, and sat on the Han River banks sharing dreams. "I want to be a nurse in America," she said one night, hugging her knees. "It's my goal. I want to see the world. And I don't want to be stuck teaching forever," I admitted. "Maybe one day, we'll go together." She glanced at me, half smiling. "Together?" "Yes," I said firmly. "Together." Her hand slid into mine, and for the first time, I believed in us. Our fights were real, though. "You don't understand Korean culture," she snapped once after I forgot to bow to her parents. "I'm trying." I shot back. "Do you think I want to embarrass you? You make me look careless. Then teach me better." Silence stretched, heavy and painful. But later that night, she whispered, "Sorry. I pushed too hard." I whispered back, "Sorry. I should learn faster." We always found our way back. 2 years passed like a blur. We built something fragile but beautiful. Then came the talk of leaving. "America," she said, spreading brochures across the table. "Hospitals there need nurses. I can do it. We can do it." I stared at the papers. "You really think we'll make it?" Her eyes hardened. "Why not?" "Because, it's far. It's everything new again. You did it once," she reminded me softly. "You came to Korea with nothing. Do it again, with me." I wanted to argue, but when she looked at me, I couldn't. "All right," I said. "Let's go." She smiled, but there was something else in her eyes, something sharp I couldn't name. The night we decided, I lay awake beside her. She was asleep, face turned away, her breathing steady. I whispered to the dark, "This is it. This is our future. Nothing can break us." But deep down, a shadow stirred. "Honey, I'm going to the academy again," she said, slipping her shoes on. "Again? You've been there almost every night this week." She looked at me flatly. "I need practice. You want me to move to America, right? Then don't complain." I forced a smile. "I'm not complaining. I just miss you." "You're dramatic," she muttered, pulling the door shut behind her. At first, I told myself it was normal. She wanted to succeed. She wanted us to have a future. But the hours stretched longer, and the excuses started sounding too polished. One night when she came home, I asked, "Why so late?" "Class ends at 9. She tossed her bag down. "We studied extra." Don't be paranoid. I wasn't paranoid. I was just asking. You always sound suspicious. I don't. I care. That's all. She sighed, turning away. Then trust me. And I did, or tried to. The next day, I noticed something strange. Her KakaoTalk profile had changed. No more couple photo. Just a flower. Why'd you change our picture? I asked when she came home. It's nothing, she said quickly. Nothing? It was us. Why remove it? Because it's childish. Everyone at the academy has simple pictures. Only you care about couple photos. Then put it back. Please. Her eyes narrowed. No. Stop controlling me. I'm not. Yes, you are. You're obsessed with appearances. Grow up. Her words cut deeper than she knew. I bit my tongue, pretending it didn't matter. That week, the fights kept growing. Why are you snapping at me all the time? I asked one evening. Because you nag, she shot back. Every word from you is doubt, doubt, doubt. Because you're hiding something, I said before I could stop myself. She froze, her face hardening. What did you say? Nothing. Forget it. No, say it. You think I'm cheating? I didn't. Unbelievable, she said, grabbing her phone. I work hard, I study hard, and this is what I get? I reached for her wrist. I didn't mean it like that. Then stop accusing me. Stop doubting me. Her words silenced me, but inside, the storm grew louder. Days later, I tried a softer approach. Hey, I said over dinner, can we spend more time together? Just us? She stabbed at her food. We'll have plenty of time in America. I mean now. I miss talking to you. You always say you miss me. Why can't you just let me breathe? Because I love you. She set her chopsticks down sharply. Then love me enough to let me do what I need. Her tone ended the conversation. I stared at my untouched plate, wondering when love started feeling like begging. One night, I caught her smiling at her phone. Who's that? I asked gently. A classmate, she answered without looking up. What classmate? Don't interrogate me. It's just group chat. Show me. She snapped her phone shut. No. You don't own me. My chest burned. Why can't you be honest? I am honest. You're insecure. I wanted to shout, but I swallowed it down. My voice shook instead. I just want the truth. She walked away, leaving me with silence as heavy as betrayal. The more I watched, the less I recognized her. She wore new makeup, styled her hair differently, checked her phone with nervous smiles. When I reached for her, she pulled away. Do you even want this marriage? I asked one night. Her eyes flickered. Don't be dramatic. I'm tired. Tired of me? She didn't answer. She just turned off the light. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering when my wife became a stranger. I tried to talk to her sister one afternoon. She's been busy, her sister said kindly when I asked if she noticed changes. Busy, yes, but different. Distant. Do you see it too? Her sister frowned. She doesn't tell me everything. But if something's wrong, maybe give her space. I've given her space, I whispered. All I get back is silence. Her sister hesitated. She loves you. I know she does. I forced a smile. I hope so. But the doubt was already eating me alive. One Friday night, she came home late again. Where were you? I asked. At the academy. It's past midnight. She tossed her coat aside. We had drinks after class. With who? Classmates. I stared at her. Classmates or one classmate? Her jaw tightened. You're impossible. Then prove me wrong. Tell me who you were with. Why should I? She snapped. You'll twist it anyway. Because I'm your husband. I deserve to know. She laughed bitterly. You deserve nothing if you can't trust me. The words stung more than a slap. I turned away, my throat closing, afraid my voice would betray how broken I felt. But the worst moment came quietly. I opened KakaoTalk one evening to send her a message. My profile still had our photo. Hers didn't. Again. Why do you keep changing it? I asked when she returned. Because I want to. Stop asking. It feels like you're erasing us. She glared. Not everything is about you. Grow up. Do you still love me? The words slipped out before I could stop them. Her silence stretched. Finally, she said, why do you always need words? Isn't being here enough? My heart sank. Sometimes, no. Sometimes I need proof. Then maybe you don't know what love is, she whispered coldly. I stared at her, realizing maybe she was right, maybe I didn't know. The days bled together after that. She left early, came home late, and every word between us felt like a knife. I wanted to believe it was stress, that the academy was the reason, but deep inside I already knew, something darker had begun. And still, I stayed quiet. Because I was afraid. Afraid of the truth. Afraid of losing her. Afraid of admitting what love had turned into. I never realized how long a night could stretch until the nights she stopped coming home began. At first, I told myself it was nothing unusual. Nurses worked long hours. Students studying for exams often lost track of time. But when I sat alone in our apartment, lights dimmed, the clock ticking louder than it should, every second grew heavier. I stared at the front door as if willing it to open. It didn't. I sent her a Kakao message. Are you still at the academy? No reply. An hour later, another message. Just checking in. Should I wait up for you? Still no reply. By midnight, I typed again. Are you safe? The tiny check mark never turned blue. When she finally came home that night, it was almost 2 in the morning. I got up from the couch, pretending I hadn't been worried sick. You're late, I said softly, trying not to sound accusing. She tossed her bag down. The teacher kept us longer. Extra practice. That late? I asked. She sighed, avoiding my eyes. You don't understand. English isn't easy for me. I know it's hard, but you could have at least texted. Her tone turned sharp. So now I need your permission to study? My chest tightened. No. I just. Then stop making it sound like I did something wrong. She cut me off and walked past me toward the bedroom. I stood there, silence filling the space she left behind. I wanted to believe her. I forced myself to believe her. The nights repeated, each one longer than the last. She came home later, sometimes not at all. One evening, I sat at the table with 2 bowls of steaming ramen, waiting. By the time the noodles turned soggy, I knew she wasn't coming. I ate alone, staring at the empty chair across from me. At 11:45 p.m., I sent her another message. Are you still at the academy? No response. I tried again. I made dinner. It's getting cold. Still nothing. When I called, it went straight to voicemail. The glow of my phone screen mocked me. The next morning, I asked her gently, why didn't you come home? She brushed me off. We had group work. Everyone stayed late. All night? Don't exaggerate. I fell asleep at a friend's place near the academy. It was easier than traveling back. Why didn't you tell me? I forgot. Do I need to report every move I make? Her words stung, but I stayed quiet. If I pushed harder, the fight would only grow. Weeks went by. My doubts grew with them. The apartment felt colder, emptier. Her laughter, once filling every corner, was now rare. One night, close to midnight, I sent her messages again. Are you safe? No answer. I'm worried. Please reply. Still nothing. I called. It rang once, then ended. I called again. Straight to voicemail. Panic clawed at me. I scrolled through my contacts until I saw her sister's name. She was often online at night. The green dot glowed beside her profile picture. I hesitated, then pressed call. She answered after the second ring. Hello? Why are you calling so late? I'm sorry, I said quickly. Is she with you? Her sister's voice held confusion. With me? No. Why would she be? She said she was at a friend's. She hasn't answered me all night. There was a pause on the line. She told you that? Yes, I whispered. You sound surprised. She trailed off. She's been different lately. What do you mean? I probably shouldn't say anything, her sister murmured. Please, I begged. I'm her husband. If something's wrong, I need to know. Silence stretched before she finally spoke again. I don't know where she is tonight. But I know she hasn't been honest with you. My chest tightened. What do you mean she hasn't been honest? Her sister hesitated. Just, pay attention. Things aren't always what they seem. The line went quiet. I wanted to press for more, but her sister quickly added, I need to go. I'll talk to you later. Then the call ended. I stared at my phone, the weight of her words pressing down on me. She hasn't been honest. Those 4 words echoed through my head, louder than the silence in the apartment, louder than the ticking clock, louder than my own heartbeat. For the first time, I couldn't convince myself it was just stress, or exams, or long hours. For the first time, I felt the shadow of something darker moving between us. The following night, I waited again. I cooked dinner, left her plate untouched, watched the hours crawl by. When she finally walked in after midnight, I asked quietly, where were you? At the academy, she replied too quickly. I looked at her. All this time? She avoided my eyes. You don't believe me? I want to, I whispered. But I called your sister. Her head snapped toward me. You what? I was worried. I didn't know where you were. Her expression flickered, something unreadable flashing in her eyes. Don't drag her into this. She sounded concerned, I said carefully. She said you haven't been honest. Her jaw tightened. My sister doesn't know what she's talking about. Doesn't she? I asked. She grabbed her bag and stormed into the bedroom, slamming the door behind her. I sat there in the living room, staring at the closed door, my heart heavy. Her sister's words kept replaying in my head. She hasn't been honest. And now, I knew it wasn't just my imagination. The distance between us wasn't stress. It was something else. Something real. Something I wasn't ready to face. The silence after her sister's words haunted me for days. I replayed them again and again in my head, twisting every syllable. She hasn't been honest. Those 4 words clung to me like a shadow I couldn't shake. 2 nights later, the dam inside me finally broke. It was almost midnight again. I sat in the apartment with the lights off, staring at the glow of my phone. No messages. No calls. I dialed her number. She didn't answer. I called again. Straight to voicemail. My pulse hammered. My jaw clenched. I typed. Where are you? Come home. Now. 10 minutes later, her message appeared. I'm out with friends. Stop worrying. Out with friends. At nearly 1 a.m. I typed back. Come home. We need to talk. She didn't reply. I called again. This time she picked up. Her voice was casual, almost careless. What? I told you I'm with friends. At this hour? I snapped. Who are you with? Why does it matter? She shot back. I'm just relaxing. You're suffocating me. Then come home, I demanded. I'll come when I'm ready. No, I said firmly. Come now. Silence. Then a sigh. Fine. I'll drive back. I waited, pacing the living room, heart pounding with every step. Underscore 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 underscore. The sound of her car pulling up made my stomach twist. I rushed outside, unable to sit still a second longer. She sat in the driver's seat, engine idling, music faintly playing. I opened the passenger door. Turn it off. We need to talk. Her eyes narrowed. Can't this wait until morning? No. Get in the back with me. We're doing this now. She huffed but switched off the ignition. The sudden silence outside was suffocating. I slid into the seat beside her. Where were you? I told you, out with friends. At a club? I pressed. Her lips tightened. Yes. We had drinks, some dancing. Is that a crime? You don't drink, I shot back. Her eyes flickered. I had one. Maybe two. I leaned closer. You expect me to believe this? That every night you're just studying, working, or suddenly clubbing? Her voice rose. Why are you attacking me? Do you want me locked at home like a prisoner? I want the truth. I shouted. Her jaw clenched, hands gripping the steering wheel even though the car was off. You're paranoid. No, I said, my voice shaking. I'm not. Give me your phone. She whipped her head toward me. What? Your phone. Right now. Her eyes narrowed into slits. You don't trust me? Not anymore, I whispered. Her lips parted as if she might argue, but then she slowly pulled the phone from her purse. Fine. Look. Maybe then you'll shut up. She handed it over with a smug tilt of her chin, as if daring me to find something. My hands trembled as I unlocked the screen. Kakao Talk. My finger hovered, my pulse thundering. I opened the app. There it was. Her recent chats. One name stood out. Not a friend, not family. A name I recognized, the academy teacher. I tapped. The messages filled the screen. My breath caught. Last night was amazing. Can't stop thinking about you. Her reply, me too. I miss you already. My vision blurred, but I forced myself to keep reading. When can we meet again? Same place tomorrow? Her, yes. I'll tell him I have late practice again. The phone slipped slightly in my grip. My heart felt like it was being crushed in a vice. I swallowed hard. How long? My voice cracked. She didn't answer. I turned the screen toward her, my hands shaking violently. How long has this been going on? Her face was pale in the dim streetlight. She tried to look away. Answer me. I shouted. Her lips trembled. It's not what you think. Not what I think. I barked. You told him you missed him. You told him you'd lie to me. What the hell else am I supposed to think? She reached for the phone, but I pulled it back. Stop. No. My voice cracked. No more lies. How long? Her silence was worse than the words. I leaned back, gasping for breath, the car suddenly too small, too suffocating. I gave up everything for us, I whispered. I trusted you. I believed every excuse. And the whole time. Stop it, she muttered, covering her face with her hands. The whole time, you were with him. She whispered, barely audible, it just happened. My chest burned. Don't you dare say it just happened. You chose this. Every message, every lie, every night you left me sitting alone, you chose this. Tears filled her eyes, but I couldn't feel sympathy. Not anymore. Why him? I demanded. Why the teacher? She finally looked at me. He understands me. The words cut deeper than any knife. Understands you? My voice broke. I was your husband. I was supposed to be the one who understood you. She didn't answer. I turned back to the screen, scrolling through weeks of hidden conversations. My stomach twisted with each line. I can't wait until we're alone again. You make me feel alive. Don't worry, he suspects nothing. Every word was a dagger. I dropped the phone into her lap. I can't look at you right now. Her shoulders shook, but I couldn't tell if it was from guilt or anger. I opened the car door, stepping out into the cold night air. My chest heaved, every breath burning. She called after me, her voice trembling. Wait. I turned back, tears blurring my vision. No. You wait. Wait and think about what you've done. Because I don't even know who you are anymore. I walked back into the apartment alone, the night pressing down on me heavier than ever. Inside, the silence greeted me like an old companion. But now it wasn't just silence. It was betrayal, echoing in every corner of our home. And I knew, with devastating clarity, that nothing would ever be the same again. I barely slept that night. My body was in the apartment, but my mind was trapped in the car, staring at those messages again and again. Every word burned. By morning, I was hollow. The sound of the door opening snapped me back. She walked in slowly, eyes red, shoulders slumped. I didn't move. I just stared at her. She whispered, "Can we talk?" My throat was raw, but I forced the word out. Talk. She sat on the edge of the couch across from me. Her hands trembled as she tried to find words. I'm sorry. Sorry? My voice cracked. That's all? Tears welled up in her eyes. I made a mistake. I never meant for it to go this far. I laughed bitterly. A mistake? Mistakes don't last weeks. Mistakes don't have secret messages and lies stacked on top of lies. You didn't trip and fall into his bed, you chose this. She buried her face in her hands. I know. I know I did. But I swear to you, I didn't want to hurt you. I shot up to my feet. Then why? Why him? Why any of this? Her voice shook. Because I was lonely. Because I felt invisible. I staggered back. Invisible? I gave you everything I had. I supported you when you wanted to study. I trusted you when you stayed out late. I believed every excuse, even when it tore me apart inside. And you call yourself invisible? She reached for me, but I pulled away. I thought you loved me, I whispered. I do love you, she cried. Please believe me, I do. Don't say that, I snapped. Don't twist the word love to cover this. Her tears streamed harder. I was stupid. He made me feel alive for a moment. Like I wasn't drowning in pressure. But it didn't mean I stopped loving you. I clenched my fists, my chest burning. You can't love me and betray me at the same time. That's not love. That's selfishness. She shook her head frantically. I ended it. I swear, I ended it. I told him it was over. Please, please give me another chance. I stared at her, the words clawing inside me. Another chance. Do you realize what you've done to me? My voice broke, tears finally spilling. Do you realize I stayed here in this country for you? I had no family, no real friends, no one but you. You were my world. And you burned it down. Her sobs echoed in the room. I hate myself for it. I can't believe I risked everything. I'll do anything, anything to make it right. Please don't leave me. I sat down, burying my face in my hands. The room spun. I don't even know who I am anymore. I don't know how to breathe without feeling like a fool. She moved closer, her voice trembling. You're not a fool. You're the only person I've ever truly loved. Then why wasn't I enough? I whispered. She froze. Silence stretched, heavy and unbearable. Finally, she said, it wasn't you. It was me. My weakness. My stupidity. Please believe me, I'll never do it again. My chest ached as if someone had pressed a blade into it. I want to believe you. God, I want to. But how? How can I ever trust you again? Her hands shook as she reached out, gripping my arm. Because I'll prove it. I'll show you every message, every call. I'll give you my passwords, my phone, anything. Just, don't walk away from us. I looked at her trembling face, and for a moment I saw the woman I fell in love with, the one who laughed with me, who dreamed of building a life together. But then the words from her messages flashed in my mind, I miss you. Don't worry, he suspects nothing. I yanked my arm away. Every time I look at you, I see those words. How do I erase them? She sobbed harder, her body collapsing against the couch. Please don't leave me alone. I can't do this without you. A hollow laugh escaped me. You're scared of being alone? What about me? Do you know how alone I felt every night you didn't come home? Sitting in the dark, waiting, hoping the door would open. You left me alone long before this. Her shoulders shook violently. I was wrong. I was blind. Please, please give me another chance. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you. I pressed my palms into my eyes, my body trembling. Inside, a war raged. One voice screamed, leave now. Save yourself. She'll do it again. The other whispered, you can't bear that flight home alone. You can't face life without her. I don't know if I can forgive you, I whispered. Then don't forgive me yet, she said quickly. Just, stay. Stay and let me prove it. Punish me if you have to. Hate me if you need to. Just don't throw everything away. Her desperation clung to every word. It broke me, because part of me still loved her. Part of me still saw her as my wife, my partner, the person I once believed would never hurt me. But the other part of me, the shattered, bleeding part, couldn't forget. I can't decide now, I muttered. I don't even know what day it is anymore. My mind is broken. She crawled closer, clutching my hand despite my resistance. Then take your time. Just don't give up on us. I stared at our hands, hers gripping mine tightly, mine limp and unwilling. My voice was barely a whisper. You've already given up on us. I'm just the one who found out too late. Her sobs filled the silence, echoing off the walls, but I couldn't move. I sat frozen, my soul torn in two. Part of me wanted to run, to pack my bags and leave her crying on the floor. The other part, the weaker, lonelier part, wanted to collapse into her arms and pretend this nightmare never happened. But I knew the truth. There was no pretending anymore. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling, my chest heavy with grief. I don't know if I'll ever heal from this. And I don't know if I'll ever forgive you. Her whisper cut through the air. Then let me try to heal with you. Don't shut me out yet. Please. I didn't answer. I couldn't. My silence was the only thing I had left, the only control in a life that suddenly wasn't mine anymore. And in that silence, the first seeds of doubt about my own strength began to grow. I sat on the couch, staring at the blank wall. My chest still ached from everything that happened, but her words from the night before echoed in my ears, her sobs, her pleas, her promises. She came out of the bedroom slowly. You haven't spoken since last night. I rubbed my face. What do you want me to say? That I'm fine? That I can just forget? No, she whispered. I want to know if you'll give me a chance to fix this. Fix? I laughed bitterly. You broke me. How do you fix that? She stepped closer. By proving to you every day that I choose you, that I love you. Love? The word felt like poison on my tongue. You said that while sneaking off to him. Do you realize how insane that sounds? Her voice cracked. I made a mistake. A horrible mistake. Please. I'll never do it again. I clenched my fists. Why should I believe you? Because I'm here, not with him, she said quickly. Because I'm begging you. Because. I don't want to lose you. I wanted to scream at her. Instead, I pressed my palms against my eyes. The silence stretched, broken only by her uneven breathing. Finally, I muttered, I should leave. I should pack my things and disappear. Her knees buckled as she sank to the floor. Don't. Please, don't say that. You're my husband. You're my home. I can't lose this. Home? I scoffed. You left me alone night after night, wondering if you'd even come back. Do you know what that does to someone? I know, she whispered. I destroyed your trust. But I'll earn it back. You can't. My voice cracked. You can't unsee the messages. You can't erase the images from my head. Her tears spilled. Then let me at least try to build something new with you. I looked at her, broken, desperate, terrified. And in that moment, something inside me split. I wanted to run, but I was paralyzed by fear. Why am I even considering this? I muttered. Because you love me, she said quickly. Because we have plans. Because we're moving to the US together. We can't throw that away now. The mention of the move tightened my chest. Alone in a foreign country, without her, without anyone, that thought scared me more than her betrayal. You're right, I said quietly. I don't have anyone else here. She reached for my hand. You have me. Let me be enough. Let me make this right. I pulled my hand back. You'll never be enough again. That's the truth. Her face twisted in pain. Then why not leave me? Because, I exhaled. Because I'm terrified of being alone. Because I don't know how to start over here. Because as much as I hate you right now, I still love you. And that makes me weak. She crawled closer, resting her hands on my knees. That's not weakness. That's love. No, I whispered. It's dependence. Her tears dripped onto my legs. Call it whatever you want. Just, give me one more chance. Please. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. My mind replayed every memory, the nights waiting, the lies, the cruel sting of discovering the truth. Yet, beneath it all, I saw her smile when we first met, the nights we stayed up laughing, the promises we once believed in. All right, I said finally, my voice hollow. One more chance. She gasped, clutching my hand tightly. Thank you. Thank you, I swear I won't let you down again. I didn't squeeze back. Don't thank me. This isn't forgiveness. This is survival. I'm choosing comfort over self-respect, and I know it. Her eyes widened. No, it's not like that. It is, I cut in. I'm not blind. You've poisoned what we had. I'll never trust you the same way again. Her lips trembled. But you'll stay? Yes, I admitted. But don't mistake that for strength. It's weakness. She hugged me tightly, burying her face into my chest. I'll make you strong again. I promise. I didn't hug her back. I sat stiff, listening to the sound of her breathing, trying to convince myself that maybe, just maybe, I hadn't made the worst mistake of my life. Later that week, she suggested dinner. Let's go out, she said gently. Let's try to feel normal again. Normal? I muttered. Nothing about this is normal. We can rebuild, she insisted. If we keep acting like everything's ruined, then it really will be. I sighed. Fine. Dinner. At the restaurant, she smiled too brightly, speaking too quickly. Do you like the food? She asked. It's fine. You're quiet. What do you want me to say? That everything's okay? That I don't see his name every time I close my eyes? Her fork clattered against the plate. Please, don't say his name. I don't need to. He's in the air between us. She looked down. I know. But if you keep holding on to that, we'll never move forward. I can't just flip a switch. Then let me help, she whispered. Let me remind you why you fell in love with me. I laughed bitterly. You want me to remember? That's the problem. I do remember. And it makes the betrayal worse. Her eyes glistened, but she nodded slowly. Then I'll give you new memories. Ones that don't hurt. I stabbed at my food, silent. That night, lying in bed, she reached for me. Can I hold you? She asked softly. I hesitated before nodding. Her arms wrapped around me, warm and trembling. I'm scared, she whispered. Of what? Of losing you for real. I know I almost did. I closed my eyes. You did lose me. The version of me that trusted you is gone. What's left? I don't even recognize. Her grip tightened. Then let me meet this version. Let me love him too. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to drown in the illusion of safety. So I let her hold me, even though every nerve screamed at me to push her away. Weeks passed. We went through the motions, me pretending to believe, her pretending to repent. But in the quiet moments, I felt the cracks widening. One night I asked, "Do you ever think about him still?" Her eyes darted away. No. Never. You hesitated, I said. No, I didn't, she snapped quickly. I studied her face. I'll never know the truth again, will I? She swallowed hard. All you need to know is that I'm here. And that's supposed to be enough? It has to be, she whispered. In the darkness, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, feeling the hollowness of my own decision. I had chosen her, not out of faith, but out of fear. And though she slept peacefully beside me, I knew the truth. Trust was gone. Love was twisted. And second chances, I realized, were nothing but bandages on wounds that would never heal. The plane touched down in the US, and I remember thinking, this should feel like a fresh start. But it didn't. As we collected our bags and stepped into the unfamiliar air, the weight of what had happened traveled with us. In the cab, she leaned her head on my shoulder. New country, new life. We can leave everything behind, right? I stared out the window. Can we? Yes, she whispered. We can. I didn't respond. I couldn't. Our apartment was small but clean. She unpacked eagerly, humming to herself, while I set my suitcase in the corner. Look, she said, holding up a framed picture of us. We'll put this by the bed. It'll remind us what we're fighting for. I forced a smile. Sure. She studied me. You don't believe that, do you? I exhaled. I want to. But every word you say, I hear twice, the meaning, and the lie behind it. Her face fell. I told you it was over. Why can't you just trust me again? Because you burned that bridge, I snapped. I'm standing on ashes. Days turned into weeks. She started her nursing shifts, long hours that left her drained. I stayed behind, scrolling through job postings, trying to focus. But my eyes kept drifting to her phone on the counter. One night, she caught me holding it. What are you doing? She demanded. Checking, I admitted. Her jaw tightened. Checking for what? You tell me. She snatched it back. You promised to give me a chance. Spying on me isn't giving me a chance. It's survival, I muttered. I can't stop wondering who you're texting, who you're smiling at when I'm not around. She shook her head. You're going to drive yourself crazy. Too late, I said softly. We argued more. Small things became battles. Why didn't you answer my call during your break? I asked one night. I was busy, she snapped. Patients don't wait just so I can pick up the phone. Or maybe you were with someone, I fired back. Her eyes widened. That's not fair. Neither is what you did, I shot back. She slammed a glass on the counter. If you can't move on, why are you still here? I stared at her. Because I don't know how to leave. At night, lying next to her, the silence grew louder than words. She would turn toward me, whispering, I love you. And I would whisper back, I know. But inside, the words rang hollow. One evening, she tried again. Can't you see I'm trying? She pleaded. I come home, I cook, I clean, I do everything to make this work. It's not about chores, I said. It's about the fact that when you smile at me, I wonder who else you smiled at. When you say you love me, I wonder who else you said it to. That's the reality now. Her voice broke. So no matter what I do, I'll always be guilty. Yes, I whispered. In my head, you always will. We sat at the table, dinner untouched. She muttered, then maybe this was a mistake. Maybe coming here together was the wrong move. Maybe, I admitted. But we're here. And I'm trying. Every day I'm trying. Her eyes softened. So am I. I nodded slowly. But it feels like we're not trying together. It feels like we're each fighting separate wars. At the hospital Christmas party, she introduced me to her coworkers. This is my husband, she said with a bright smile. They shook my hand, complimented me, laughed politely. She looked happy, but I couldn't stop analyzing every glance she exchanged, every friendly laugh. In the cab ride home, I asked, who was the guy in the blue tie? She sighed. A nurse. Why? He seemed awfully close. Stop, she said sharply. Not everyone is him. I looked away. That's easy for you to say. She grabbed my hand. You have to stop punishing me forever. I'm not punishing you, I whispered. I'm punishing myself for staying. The distance between us wasn't just miles anymore, it was inside the walls of our apartment, between every word we spoke. One night, she broke the silence. Do you hate me? I thought for a long moment. No. I hate what you did. But I don't hate you. Then why does it feel like you do? Because I can't love you the way I used to. That's gone. Her voice cracked. So what are we doing? I looked at her, tears stinging my eyes. Trying. Failing. Surviving. I don't even know anymore. Every day tested me. Every smile of hers tested me. Every word carried two meanings, what she said, and what I feared it really meant. And though we stood together in a new country, I realized something terrifying: oceans couldn't wash away betrayal. It traveled with us. It lived in us. And it grew louder in the silence between our hearts. I could always tell when she was hiding something. It wasn't about what she said. It was about what she didn't say. Her phone became her shield. She used to leave it on the table, the screen lighting up whenever a message came. Now it was always face down, tucked under her hand, or slid into her bag the moment I entered the room. At first, I told myself I was imagining it. I told myself trust meant not prying. But every time I saw her fingers tightening over the phone, every time I caught that flicker of guilt in her eyes, something in my chest sank lower. Why do you always look at me like that? She asked one night, her voice sharp. Like what? I tried to keep calm, but I could hear the tension in my own voice. Like I'm guilty of something. Like you're waiting for me to slip up. I swallowed. Because you act like you're hiding something. Her laugh was short, bitter. Or maybe you've become paranoid. Ever think of that? Her words hit me hard, but I didn't answer. I wanted to believe her, yet the silence that followed only deepened the crack in my chest. Nights grew heavier. I would lie in bed staring at the ceiling, listening to the faint hum of the refrigerator, the tick of the clock, and her soft footsteps pacing in the living room with her phone pressed to her ear. Sometimes I would catch pieces of whispers. A soft laugh. A pause. Then silence the moment I stepped closer. One night I asked, "Who were you talking to?" She looked startled, then annoyed. "Just a friend." "You don't know her." "Then why go quiet when I walk in?" "Because I don't want to fight with you over every call I make," she snapped. My chest tightened. "You make it sound like I'm the problem." "Maybe you are," she shot back. "Maybe the problem is you don't trust me no matter what I say." I clenched my fists. "How can I trust you when you keep giving me reasons not to?" Her eyes burned. "You're suffocating me." That word stuck. Suffocating. As if my love, my concern, was a cage. The next morning, I tried again. I wanted peace. "Can we talk about last night?" She sighed, sipping her coffee. "What's there to talk about? You don't believe me anyway." "I want to believe you," I said quietly. "But you keep shutting me out. You disappear, you come home late, you hide your phone. How do you expect me to feel?" Her voice rose. "Do you want me to stop living my life just to make you feel secure?" Should I report every step I take? I felt my throat close. I just want honesty. You want control, she muttered. Her words twisted like a knife. I sat in silence, my coffee untouched, the air between us thick with resentment. Days blurred together. Every small thing became a battlefield. You didn't answer my call last night, I said one evening. I was busy, she replied flatly. Too busy to even text. She rolled her eyes. Not everything revolves around you. Later, when I reached for her phone, she yanked it away. Don't, she hissed. What are you so afraid I'll see? I demanded. God, you're pathetic, she said, pushing past me. Pathetic. The word echoed in my skull, louder than her footsteps, louder than the slamming door. I stopped sleeping. I'd sit on the couch in the dark, the glow of the streetlight spilling through the blinds, waiting for her to come home. My stomach twisted at every creak in the hallway, every vibration of my own silent phone. When she finally walked in at 2 a.m, her hair slightly out of place, I stood up. Where were you? Out. Her tone was cold, dismissive. Out where? With friends. Which friends? Her eyes narrowed. Why does it matter? Because I'm your husband, I said, my voice breaking. Because I deserve to know. She smirked, a cruel twist of her lips. Deserve? You think you deserve every part of me just because you put a ring on my finger? Her words shattered something inside me. I followed her into the bedroom. I can't keep living like this. Either you're honest with me, or what? She interrupted. You'll leave? Please. You don't have the guts. The sting of truth in her voice burned. She knew I was afraid. Afraid of loneliness. Afraid of the silence without her. I stayed after the first time, I whispered. I gave you another chance. Don't throw that in my face. She scoffed. And you think that makes you noble? You stayed because you're weak. Her words made my blood boil. Weak? Or maybe I loved you too much. Love? She spat. Don't call this love. This is obsession. You don't love me, you just don't want to be alone. I stared at her, my hands trembling. Maybe you're right. Maybe I was afraid. But at least I never betrayed you. For the first time, she looked away. Her silence was louder than any confession. I stepped closer. Tell me the truth. Did you ever stop? Her jaw clenched. I don't owe you anything. Yes, you do, I said firmly. I gave you everything. My trust. My life. The least you can do is answer me. Her eyes flickered, then hardened. Fine. You want the truth? Her voice rose, sharp as glass. No, I didn't stop. I never stopped. Are you happy now? The words slammed into me, each syllable a dagger. My breath caught, my vision blurred. My voice cracked. You promised me. I promised what I had to, she snapped. You wouldn't have stayed otherwise. Tears stung my eyes. So all this time, you've been lying? Every touch, every word, it was all fake? Her expression softened for a moment, then hardened again. Not fake. Just, not enough for me. I stumbled back, my heart pounding. Not enough? I gave you everything. What more could you possibly want? She crossed her arms. Something you'll never understand. Her dismissal cut deeper than her confession. I sank onto the edge of the bed, my hands gripping my knees to stop them from shaking. Do you even love me? Her silence was unbearable. Finally, she whispered, I don't know. That was worse than a no. You don't know? I repeated, my voice hollow. After everything? After vows, after years, after me carrying you across the ocean, you don't know? Her eyes glistened, but she looked away. I didn't ask you to stay. You chose to. Her words were a slap. She was right. I chose this. I chose her. I chose to ignore the signs, to cling to a love that was slipping through my fingers. And now, the truth stood naked between us. I stood slowly, my chest aching. I see you now. Not the woman I wanted you to be. Not the woman I thought you were. Just, you. And it's enough to finally break me. She didn't answer. The silence wrapped around us, suffocating. I realized then that my marriage wasn't just broken, it was dead. And maybe it had been for a long time. I walked to the door, my hand trembling on the handle. Behind me, she said nothing. No apology. No plea. Just silence. And that silence told me everything I needed to know. I sat in the quiet of my apartment, the blinds half drawn, light cutting into the room like sharp blades. My chest felt hollow. For weeks, maybe months, I had lived inside the wreckage of a marriage that never healed. The breaking point was behind me now. There was only one decision left. I can't do this anymore, I whispered aloud, as though saying it would make it real. Her voice replayed in my head, pleas, excuses, denials. None of them mattered anymore. I dialed her number. She answered quickly. Hello? I exhaled slowly. We need to talk. Now. Her tone carried that edge I had grown used to. About what? Haven't we gone in circles enough? No circles, I said. I've made my decision. A pause. What decision? I'm done, I said. My throat tightened. I'm walking away. Silence. Then a sharp inhale. You're serious? Yes. You're going to throw everything away? Just like that? Everything was thrown away the moment you chose lies over me. Her words came out cold, clipped. You don't understand what I was going through. I needed. Don't, I interrupted. My voice shook but I pressed forward. Don't rewrite this. You had choices, and you made them. I'm making mine now. Her sigh cracked like brittle glass. So that's it? After all the nights I begged for forgiveness? After I promised. You promised many things, I said. What I got instead was hiding, coldness, and a marriage built on suspicion. That's not life. That's prison. She went quiet. I swallowed hard. I'll send the papers. You don't need to call. You'll regret this, she said finally, her voice low. Maybe, I whispered. But I'll regret losing myself more. I ended the call. My hand trembled as I set the phone down. For the first time in months, the silence didn't suffocate me, it steadied me. The days that followed felt unreal. Every step outside, every breath I took, carried a strange mixture of grief and relief. At night, the bed felt enormous, a cold reminder of absence. But I slept without waiting for a door to creak open, without checking the glow of a hidden phone screen. Her sister called me weeks later. Appa, she said gently, are you okay? I let out a short laugh. Okay is relative. But I'm breathing. I heard from her, she continued carefully. She's not doing well. I leaned back against the wall. Not doing well how? She switched hospitals. They said there were complaints. Something about attitude, unreliability. She keeps fighting with coworkers. I closed my eyes. That doesn't surprise me. She also, her voice trailed off, hesitant. What? I pressed. She tried dating again. But it ended quickly. The guy left her. She blames everyone else, says no one understands her. She's unraveling. A bitter taste rose in my mouth. That sounds like karma. I didn't want to tell you to make you feel better or worse, her sister added softly. I just thought you should know. Thank you, I said. My voice carried no triumph, no gloating, only a strange ache. I'm not happy she's suffering. But I can't lie, it feels like the universe is answering where I couldn't. Months stretched on. Healing wasn't linear. Some mornings, I woke up with heavy lungs, convinced I had made the wrong choice. Other days, I walked outside, felt the sun, and realized freedom had a taste I had forgotten existed. I met her once more, by accident. It was outside a grocery store. She looked thinner, her eyes ringed with fatigue. She froze when she saw me. "You look," she began, then stopped. "Alive?" I offered. Her lips tightened. "Different. Different can be good," I said. She studied me. "So you're just moving on?" "I'm trying," I replied. She looked away. "I thought maybe you'd come back. People cool off. They forgive." "I cooled off," I said, "but the burned scars don't disappear. You gave me wounds I can't unsee." She shifted uncomfortably. "I made mistakes. But don't act like you didn't push me away too. Always suspicious, always questioning." I shook my head. "Suspicion doesn't grow out of nowhere. It feeds on shadows, and you gave me plenty." Her voice cracked, but she masked it with anger. "Fine. Then let's see how long you last alone." "Alone is easier," I said quietly, "than being with someone who made me feel invisible." Her eyes flashed, but she said nothing. She turned and walked away, her shoulders hunched, her pace unsteady. I stood there, not chasing, not regretting. Only breathing. Her sister called again months later. "She left the new hospital," she said. "They let her go. She's working part-time now, but it's not the same. She seems lost." I rubbed my temples. I wish it didn't have to be like this. I didn't want her life destroyed. "You didn't destroy it," her sister said firmly. "She did. She built her house on sand, and now it's collapsing. That's not your burden anymore." Her words clung to me long after the call ended. For years, I had carried her mistakes like weights tied to my chest. Now, I felt the strings cut one by one. One evening, I sat with an old friend at a cafe. "You look lighter," he said, sipping his drink. "Do I?" I asked. "Yeah. Not healed, maybe, but freer." I smiled faintly. Freedom came at a cost. I lost a marriage, a future I thought I had. "But you found yourself," he countered. I stirred my coffee. "And I've realized something. Betrayal doesn't just break love, it tests your will to keep loving yourself." I almost failed that test. He nodded. "And now?" "Now," I said slowly, "I see her unraveling from afar. And while part of me feels sorrow, another part whispers that maybe this is balance. Karma has a way of evening the scales." He leaned back. "Do you feel vindicated?" I shook my head. "No. Just released." Later that night, lying in bed, I thought of her. I pictured the woman I once loved, the laughter, the warmth. Then I pictured the woman who hid messages, who turned cold, who gaslit me until I questioned reality. They were the same person. That truth hurt more than anything. But still, I was free. "Karma," I whispered into the dark, "you've done what I couldn't." And for the first time, I fell asleep without dreams of her. I stared at the ceiling of my room, the silence so thick it felt alive. The memories still came, uninvited, her voice, her laughter, even the sting of her betrayal. But tonight, something was different. For the first time, I wasn't drowning in the past. I was standing on the shore, watching the waves crash, and I realized I had survived. I said out loud, almost testing the words, "She destroyed me once, but she also built the man I am now." Weeks after I left, I found myself sitting in a small cafe with a friend. He leaned forward, studying me carefully. "You seem lighter," he said. I stirred my coffee. "Lighter? I feel like I've been carrying bricks for years. Maybe I finally dropped the bag." He smirked. "So, what now? Another relationship? Or are you swearing off women forever?" I laughed, though it was short. "Not forever. But right now? I need to rebuild myself. If I rush into something, I'll just repeat the same mistakes." "Rebuild how?" I exhaled. "Career. Stability. Finding out who I am without her shadow over me. I don't even recognize myself anymore. I want to." Work became my lifeline. I picked up shifts wherever I could, took side projects, learned new skills. The exhaustion was real, but it kept my mind from wandering back to her. One night, after a particularly long day, I called my sister. She asked, "Are you okay? You sound tired." "I'm tired," I admitted. "But it's a different kind of tired. It feels like progress. Like I'm running towards something instead of away from her." She paused. "That's good. You deserve to feel that." "I do," I said softly. "I just wish it hadn't taken this much pain to learn it." The loneliness was brutal at first. The bed felt too big, the apartment too quiet. I hated the sound of my own footsteps echoing in empty rooms. One evening, I whispered to myself, "This silence used to scare me." Then, after a moment, I added, "Now it feels like freedom." I met with an old colleague for lunch. He asked bluntly, "Do you ever get angry when you think of her?" "Sometimes," I said honestly. "But anger keeps me tied to her. I want to cut that rope." He frowned. "So, you forgive her?" "Not exactly," I replied. "I forgive myself for staying too long. That's enough." The months passed, and slowly, I began piecing together a new rhythm. I exercised more, spent weekends hiking, reached out to friends I had neglected. Every small step reminded me I wasn't the same broken man anymore. One night, over beers with a close friend, I said, "I thought betrayal would ruin me forever. But it's teaching me strength I didn't know I had." He raised his glass. "To strength, then." I clinked mine against his. "To survival." But survival wasn't enough, I wanted purpose. I found it in my work, in helping others, in proving to myself that I wasn't just the man who had been betrayed. My father noticed the change. One evening on the porch, he asked, "Do you still think about her?" I hesitated, then nodded. "Yes. But not with longing anymore. With clarity. I see her for who she is, not who I wanted her to be." "And who is she?" "Someone who hurt me. But also someone who pushed me to rebuild. Without her, I might never have found myself again." He smiled faintly. "Then maybe she was both your curse and your teacher." "Maybe," I said. As the first year passed, I began reflecting on the man I used to be. The one who ignored red flags, who stayed out of fear, who begged for scraps of love. I promised myself I'd never become him again. I told a friend during a late-night drive, "I won't let betrayal define me. But I'll let it shape me into someone stronger." He glanced at me. "And if she walked back into your life tomorrow?" I didn't hesitate. The doors locked. I finally found peace on the other side. But peace was fragile. The first year back in the States was rough. I struggled to find steady work outside teaching. Employers looked at my years in Korea and dismissed them. I delivered food, worked part-time jobs, scraped by. I told myself, if this is what survival looks like, then so be it. At least I'm surviving. Eventually, the financial pressure became unbearable. I swallowed my pride and moved back in with my parents. At first, it felt like failure tattooed across my forehead. But slowly, I realized it was a blessing. There, I found stability again. I rejoined the company I had worked for before leaving for Korea. The familiarity grounded me. I began saving money, building routine, regaining confidence. Then, fate twisted in ways I didn't expect. After a year of working there, she joined too. The same office. The same hallways. I felt the ground shift beneath me. We earned good money, moved into an apartment together, and on the surface, life seemed stable. But beneath it, cracks spread. One night, an argument erupted over something so small it felt absurd. I had left a Monster Energy can by the sink. She snapped, "Why do you keep leaving those there?" I blinked, stunned. "I was going to dump it when I did the dishes." "I told you not to," she spat. "Next time, I'll pour them all over your pillow." Her tone was venomous, cutting deeper than the words themselves. Later, she apologized, softer, almost sweet. But the apology felt empty, rehearsed. It wasn't just the cans. It was her tone, her distance, the way she turned small moments into battlegrounds. Over time, the fights multiplied. I found myself shrinking again, questioning if I was the problem. But deep down, I knew. The cycle was repeating. By fall of 2024, we stood in the kitchen, voices frayed, patience gone. She said coldly, maybe we should just end this. For the first time, I didn't beg. I didn't plead. I simply said, maybe we should. The silence that followed was heavier than shouting could ever be. Walking away a second time hurt, but not like before. This time, I wasn't shattered. I was scarred, yes, but also stronger. I had already survived once. I knew I could again. I told my sister, I'm done repeating this story. This time, I'm writing a new one. She asked, and what does that story look like? I smiled faintly. It looks like freedom. Like choosing dignity over despair. Like finally living for me. Now, when I look back, I don't see myself as the man she betrayed. I see the man who rose from the ashes of it. The scars remain, reminders of battles fought and lessons learned. She destroyed me once. But in the process, she forced me to rebuild. And in rebuilding, I became stronger than I ever thought possible. I whispered to myself, standing at my window, watching the night sky, this is my rebirth. And this time, no one can take it from me.